What's up, folks? Heinz Morning Update, July 24th. So, yesterday popped up to 30, that 56, 30, 35 area. It held, and massive rejection so far. Ended up closing at 02, late day break, and then gapped down futures wise because of Tesla and Google earnings and hit a low of 51 on the overnight. I honestly, I figured, with this drop to 85 and then the overnight initially was hanging around the 75 area, that we would that it would come back and close that gap before it went back down, but it has not yet. So my goal right now is still that 5602, the closing that overnight cash gap. So I'd say 5600, 5605 is going to be a monster level. Or maybe 0297 like it was yesterday. So anyway, that area is going to be muy importante. If we get above that, then I think that we can retest that 30 again, above 30. You get this 43, but I think that you really open the door back to the upside for probably this 470503 level. Downside 51, 53 was a decent level. It held. I would assume they're going to try to defend this 42 level because below that we test two major levels, which is the 3035 level and then the 5505 level. But you got a 95 at the 50-day right here, so that's something to look out at. But if you look at the volume profile here, how there's a gap between 480 and 450, and you really don't see. So the loss of this 3035 really opens the door for a 100-point drop down to 54, 30, 35. So keep that in mind. Not saying that it happens, but it opens the door. You have two, I think, major levels here. 55, I'd say 5500, 95, and then the 53, 55, 30, 35. So those two levels have to break before you see that, that drop. But again, losing this, here's your hourly. So above 85 to 602 is your overnight cash gap. 606 is your pivot. We could watch that. That could also be a tick. We're below my magic green line on the hourly. So before we were bouncing off of it, holding it up, right? Then you had this poke into all-time highs and then drop down. And once it broke here, it really hasn't looked back. I mean, it poked above it yesterday and got everybody off sides here and then smashed it down. So careful with the bullishness because that's kind of what they're doing now. It's really playing games. The swings are quite large, and then they're getting people's hopes up. Again, remember, for last 6 months or so, maybe even longer, we had like an auto bid algo, and anybody could make money just buying a 5-point dip. And then, so everyone's, I think, is still trained into this. At some point, they're going to catch that big rip to the upside. And right now, it's punishing those people. So we're still in sell the rip, cautiously. I'm not saying it can't go up. I'm just saying be careful with, overstaying your welcome. Here's that volume node right here at that 3530 level. And then again, you can kind of see how there's just a gap. So typically they skip the gaps and then they come back in, and then you have a lot of volume. Which is interesting is the 1 year POC is down at 4184. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm just giving you a reference. Your monthly open was also at 55.34. So if we lose that level, we go negative, we go red for July. So I'm assuming that they're going to try to defend that, but we will see. I'm not optimistic that they're going to be able to do so. Here's your weekly. Right, we popped above the R2. Now we're heading back down. But again, are we basing and then for another rip up, or is this it and we're going to start heading back down? I don't know. But as of now, the price structure is not bullish, especially after yesterday. Like I got bull hopes yesterday, and then right when it rejected that 30 and came down hard. I mean, you've dropped 80 points since then. That's crazy. So be careful today. And the rest of the week. These swings have been real. 9.5 rejected on the euro. So my poor man Head and Shoulders did not materialize. And now we're going to come back down. 081 here. We have a convergence of the 50 and 200. So we'll see if that breaks. Then I think that this is going to start to come back down. Interesting. NASDAQ's down 200. Nvidia's down a couple. I think Tesla's down. Haven't looked at it. We have a cash gap from the 19th, 55.29 to 55.05. Right now at 40 points down with a close at 55. We're going to open up pretty much right at the 50-day moving average of 54.24. So that's going to be an interesting level. I would watch the defense of the 54.02 here. I don't know about this cash gap. A lot of times it will park right in front of it and then bounce, or it fills it and bounces. But cash caps are important, so I would keep an eye on that. Other than that, stay safe. I don't know. There's not much economic news coming out today. So we'll see. I would expect a pop, and then I'm looking to short a pop. Ideally at 56.02.05. Fill the cash gap and then come back down. But we will see how this materializes. Stay safe.